What if the NFL's next great quarterback has been hiding in plain sight? Not behind a massive media machine, not protected by endless excuses, not carried by a superstar roster, but standing in Denver, wearing orange and blue, slowly forcing the entire league to admit something it did not want to believe. Bo Nix is not just a nice rookie story anymore. He is not just a quarterback who surprised people. He is becoming the face of something much bigger, a Denver Broncos revival that may be arriving faster than anyone expected. And be honest with yourself for a second. When the Broncos selected Bo Nix 12th overall, did you really believe this would happen this quickly? Did you really think Denver, a franchise still haunted by years of quarterback disappointment, would suddenly find stability, confidence, and belief again? Because that is exactly what happened. Bo Nix walked into the NFL with doubt all around him. Some said he was a system quarterback. Some said Denver reached. Some said Sean Payton was forcing the Drew Brees comparison too hard. And after the first 2 weeks of his rookie season, the critics were ready to bury the story before it even began. But then something changed. Actually, maybe nothing changed. Maybe Bo Nix simply became what he had always been, a quarterback who learns, adjusts, absorbs pressure, and refuses to stay down. That is the part people keep missing. This story did not begin in Denver. It began years earlier, in a football family, in a football state, with a young kid carrying a name, a dream, and a burden most people will never understand. Bo Nix was born in Arkansas in 2000, but his football identity was shaped in Alabama. His father, Patrick Nix, was a former Auburn quarterback, and in the Nix household, Auburn football was not just a team. It was family history. It was loyalty. It was expectation. So when Bo started playing quarterback, the dream was already painted in orange and blue. At Pinson Valley High School, he became more than just a promising recruit. He became a hometown force. With his father coaching him, Bo led his team to back-to-back state championships and produced the kind of numbers that sound almost unreal. More than 12,000 total yards and 161 total touchdowns. That is not normal. That is not hype. That is dominance. And in 2018, he was named Alabama Mr. Football, which means something different in a state where football is almost a religion. He was viewed as one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in the country, a 4-star, sometimes 5-star caliber recruit, and one of the most recognizable young quarterbacks in the 2019 class. But when the offers came, the decision was never really complicated. Bo Nix chose Auburn. He chose legacy. He chose pressure. He chose the same program his father had played for. And from the moment he stepped on campus, the expectations were enormous. Then came 2019. Auburn named Bo Nix its starting quarterback, making him the first true freshman to start a season opener for the Tigers in decades. His first game came against Oregon, and even though it was not perfect, it was unforgettable. 2 interceptions could have broken a young quarterback. Instead, Bo kept fighting, kept competing, and helped Auburn pull off a dramatic 27-21 win. That was the first sign. He was not always clean. He was not always polished, but he was fearless. Later that season, he delivered one of the moments Auburn fans will never forget, a 48-45 win over Alabama in the Iron Bowl. Think about that for a second. A freshman quarterback, raised in an Auburn family, taking down Nick Saban's Alabama in his first Iron Bowl appearance? That is the kind of moment players dream about their entire lives. Bo finished his freshman season with over 2,500 passing yards, 16 passing touchdowns, more than 300 rushing yards, and 7 rushing scores. He became the SEC Freshman of the Year. At that moment, it looked like Auburn had its next star quarterback. But football rarely gives you a straight road. The next 2 seasons were harder. His completion percentage stayed below where critics wanted it. The offense did not always fit him. Auburn changed leadership. The pressure grew louder. And under Brian Harsin, Bo later admitted he was miserable. That matters. Because sometimes when people judge quarterbacks, they only look at the stat sheet. They do not see the instability. They do not see the system. They do not see the emotional weight of playing for your dream school while realizing that dream might not be the best place for your future. After an injury-shortened 2021 season, Bo Nix made the most difficult decision of his football life. He left Auburn. And that is where the real transformation began. He transferred to Oregon, and suddenly the game opened up. Under Dan Lanning, Bo was given freedom. He was given structure. He was given confidence. And after a brutal debut against Georgia, where Oregon was destroyed 49-3, he had every reason to fold. But again, that is not who he is. Bo Nix responded by playing some of the best football in the country. During Oregon's winning streak, he became a touchdown machine. He attacked defenses with his arm, punished them with his legs, and finally looked like the complete quarterback people had hoped to see at Auburn. In 2022, he threw for more than 3,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, and completed nearly 72% of his passes. He also added over 500 rushing yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground. But 2023 was the explosion. That season, Bo Nix became one of the most efficient quarterbacks college football has ever seen. He completed 77.4% of his passes, set an NCAA record, threw for more than 4,500 yards, produced 45 passing touchdowns, and threw just 3 interceptions. Read that again.
45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
That is not a fluke. That is not luck. That is control. And yes, critics pointed to Oregon's system. They said the offense was friendly. They said there were screens, RPOs, easy reads, and yards after the catch. And some of that was true. But here is the challenge. If it was so easy, why does everyone not do it at that level? Efficiency still matters. Accuracy still matters. Decision-making still matters. And Bo Nix showed all of it. The Denver Broncos saw it too. Sean Payton saw a quarterback who could process quickly, protect the football, play on schedule, and run an offense with rhythm. And when Denver selected Bo Nix 12th overall in the 2024 NFL Draft, the reaction was loud. Some people laughed. Some people questioned it. Some people called it desperate. Then the season started, and for 2 weeks, those doubts looked justified. Denver lost to Seattle and Pittsburgh. Bo threw interceptions. The offense looked limited. The ball was not moving downfield. The critics were circling. But then came the turn. And if you watched closely, you saw it happen in real time. Bo Nix stopped looking like a rookie trying to survive and started looking like a quarterback beginning to understand the league. From week 3 through week 13, he threw 14 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions and added production with his legs. He became calmer, sharper, faster, more confident. Suddenly, Denver was not just hiding him, they were building through him. Then came the breakout games. Against Carolina, he completed over 75% of his passes for 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. Against Atlanta, he was even better, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a completion rate above 80%. That was history. Bo Nix became the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to complete over 80% of his passes while throwing for more than 300 yards and at least 4 touchdowns in a game. That is when the conversation changed. It was no longer, did Denver reach? It became, did Denver just find its franchise quarterback? By the end of his rookie season, Bo Nix had thrown for 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, while adding 430 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. More importantly, he led the Broncos back to the playoffs for the first time since the 2015 season. Do not rush past that. Denver had spent years searching for an answer after Peyton Manning. Years of disappointment. Years of false starts, years of quarterbacks who were supposed to fix the problem and never did. Then Bo Nix arrived, and in one season, the Broncos had belief again. And now the story has become even more dangerous for the rest of the AFC, because the next chapter has already begun. In 2025, Denver's offense showed signs that this was not a one-year emotional spark. Official Broncos statistics list Bo Nix with 3,931 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions for the 2025 regular season. Courtland Sutton again led the receiving group with more than 1,000 yards, while Troy Franklin, Evan Engram, Marvin Mims Jr., and rookie running back R.J. Harvey all gave the offense more layers than it had during Bo's rookie year. That matters because this is exactly what Bo needed. In 2024, he was doing more with less. The run game was not dominant, the receiver room had flashes but not overwhelming firepower. Courtland Sutton was the clear top target, but Denver was still searching for consistent secondary weapons. Now, the Broncos have more speed, more versatility, and more options.
Evan Ingram gave Sean Payton a movable tight end who can attack the middle of the field. R.J. Harvey brought explosiveness to the backfield. Troy Franklin continued to grow as a familiar target from Bo's Oregon days. Marvin Mims remained a big play threat, and Sutton stayed as the reliable veteran presence.
That is how a young quarterback grows. You give him answers, you give him matchups, you give him rhythm. Then you let Sean Payton do what Sean Payton does: create structure, manipulate defenses, and force opponents to defend every blade of grass. And this is where the Drew Brees comparison becomes impossible to ignore. No, Bo Nix is not Drew Brees. Not yet. That would be unfair. Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But the idea behind the comparison makes sense. Quick decisions, accuracy, timing, pocket movement, command, the ability to play the game before the ball is even snapped.
That is what Sean Payton values. That is what made Brees so special. And that is what Denver is trying to build with Bo Nix.
But here is the part that should make Broncos fans excited and the rest of the league uncomfortable. Bo Nix is still early in the process. He has already survived pressure. He has already handled criticism. He has already rebuilt himself once after Auburn. He has already adapted to a new system at Oregon. He has already walked into the NFL, stumbled early, and responded with a playoff season. So why would anyone assume he is done growing now? That is the question. Because when you look at Bo Nix, you are not looking at a quarterback who had everything handed to him. You are looking at someone who had to be humbled, rebuilt, doubted, challenged, and tested at every level. And every time, he came back sharper. That is what makes this story powerful. It is not just about stats. It is not just about draft position. It is not just about one hot stretch or one playoff appearance. It is about a quarterback who keeps forcing people to rewrite what they thought they knew about him. At Auburn, people said he was inconsistent. At Oregon, people said he was a system quarterback. In the draft, people said he was a reach. In the NFL, people said he was not ready. And now?
Now Denver has one of the most interesting young quarterbacks in football, a head coach who knows exactly what kind of player he wants, and a roster that is starting to look more complete around him.
So maybe the real question is not whether Bo Nix can become good. Maybe the real question is how high this can go.
Can he become a top 10 quarterback? Can he turn Denver into a true AFC threat? Can he challenge Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for control of the division? Can he bring the Broncos back into the Super Bowl conversation?
Those questions sounded ridiculous not long ago. They do not sound ridiculous anymore. And that is the scary part. Because when a young quarterback gets confidence, when a smart coach gets trust, and when a franchise finally gets belief, things can move quickly in the NFL. Denver knows that better than almost anyone. This fan base has waited a long time for a quarterback it could believe in again. Not just tolerate, not just defend, believe in. Bo Nix has given them that. And now the pressure changes. He is no longer just trying to prove he belongs. He is trying to prove Denver can win big because of him. That is a different level of expectation. That is where good quarterbacks either become stars or get exposed. But everything in Bo Nix's career says he is built for this kind of test. He has already been the legacy kid at Auburn. He has already been the transfer trying to save his career at Oregon. He has already been the controversial first-round pick in Denver. He has already been the rookie who started slow and still led his team to the postseason. Now comes the next challenge. Can he turn promise into power? Can he turn efficiency into dominance?
Can he turn the Broncos from a feel-good comeback story into a team nobody wants to face?
That is why this season matters so much. Because Bo Nix is not sneaking up on anyone anymore. Defensive coordinators have tape. Opponents know what Sean Payton wants to do.
The AFC is loaded with quarterbacks who have already proven themselves. But that is exactly what makes this fascinating.
If Bo Nix takes another leap, the conversation around Denver changes completely. The Broncos stop being a young team on the rise and become a real threat. Not someday, not in theory, right now. And if you are a Broncos fan, this is the moment you have been waiting for. You have lived through the quarterback carousel. You have watched the offense search for identity. You have seen the franchise try to recapture the standard it once had.
Now there is a real reason to believe again.
Bo Nix may not have entered the NFL as the loudest name in his draft class. He may not have been treated like the chosen one. He may not have had the entire football world ready to crown him. But maybe that is exactly why this story hits harder. Because sometimes the most dangerous quarterbacks are not the ones everyone sees coming. Sometimes they are the ones who keep getting doubted, keep getting dismissed, and keep getting better until the league has no choice but to pay attention. That is Bo Nix right now. And Denver may have found something far more valuable than a good rookie season. They may have found their future. So now it is your turn.
Do you believe Bo Nix is becoming the real deal in Denver? Is he the quarterback who can finally bring the Broncos back into the AFC's elite? Or do you still need to see more before buying into the hype?
Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is only getting started.